We've opened our vault for the week and managed to get our hands on a 395 chest piece that will later turn into tier. Now unfortunately, when I was recording this +8 Alcathar, my OBS was really bugging out and freezing every couple of minutes, which I later found out was because I was using display capture and my PC doesn't want its display being captured for whatever reason. So there's a few bits missing from this key, but it is only a +8, so we'll allow it. We clear the lashes and get to work on the tree. Evoker seems to really shine on this boss as we get so much mastery value at any time there are new ads present. That coupled with our insane upfront burst makes us a really good class to get this boss down. Make sure you're swapping to the branch that spawns and then stand in the green pool after it dies for a nice little heal, but more importantly to remove the dot on you. This will kill you in higher keys. Another mechanic that you may fall over to is the burst forth ability. Just make sure you use the defensive on this and you should be vibing. He always casts this ability on every even wave of the pack, but apart from that, just nuke down the boss and ads, stack for Germany, and generally move clockwise around the boss, that's left, so that the ads group up nicely. Here we bolster the ever-living out of these Alpha Eagles, who have since been renamed Sigma Eagles because they're so large and in charge. Rumour has it we're still fighting them even to this day. Then my recording bugs out like I said, so just pretend that we didn't wipe the Vexmas, and then we get on to the Echo of Dorogosa. Dodge the Astral Breath here, or at least try, because it comes out in literal milliseconds, but a little tip if you're a ranged player is to play almost in melee to make dodging the breath easier. I still manage to get clipped by it all the time though. In higher keys, your tank will want to kite this boss around the full room to make the most out of it, and stay away from the pools on the floor because those orbs hurt and will cause you to spawn even more pools, and pools equal bad. We asked the druid if he needs the offhand he looted and he replies with "Jop," which I can only assume means yes, but we quickly inspect him to see it's literally the only piece of gear he needs and can't trade me. How selfish of him. We do however manage to steal a platinum starband so I can go and get an otter mount, I wish, but we equip it up instead and now we're sitting comfy at 365 item level. We two-chested that Algathar and now we're back in SPG prison. I swear this dungeon has an increased chance of proccing your keystone, but we won't complain about that as I'm pretty sure I could time it with my eyes closed. It is boring though. We survived the first pool this time. I still haven't forgiven my healer from the last episode. We take out the first boss and do some nutty burst damage on the following pack, even with my agility trinket. I'm telling you, Puzzle Box is bis for Evoker. We head into Nalish. This time we don't get jump scared by the void spawn though. Weird that, maybe they removed this mechanic. Then I take about 5 years to kill my soul, but Renewing Blaze carries me through. This ability is real nice if I know I'm about to take some damage because it heals me right back up.
One eternity later.
Nalish goes down and nothing noteworthy happens for the rest of the dungeon, so we'll move on to our two perpy friends at the end who are almost definitely going to clap my cheeks at some point down the line. Then we take down Ner'zhul because our tank doesn't have an affinity for spooky purple clouds that will definitely kill him. Oh, and our Evoker didn't hover straight into it either, so that always helps. We three-chest the heck out of this key, and as a reward I loot a 392 star. Pop chaps in the comments. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any mastery on it, but hey, we take those. Now we're up to 700 score and our key went to a 13 ruby life pools. No thank you. I lower it down to a 10 because there is no way I can muster up a group at this item level and score that won't line up perfectly to be molten bouldered by the second boss. As always, we start with a big first pool and your boy tops damage. It's just standard at this point really. Move on to the first boss and somehow solo half of it as our healer fell over to the overload. I did have to remind my blood DK to combat res though, which is quite alarming, as it really feels like in lower keys our friends don't have their party frames on. First boss goes down and we move on to Thunder. Our pally dives again and refuses to release apparently. He is fuming that he ate a storm breath and didn't live. And then we get a friendly message from our tank telling him to release, which honestly at this point I fully back. Our healer was just laying on the floor while we soloed the raid boss himself. Moving on, our mage makes things even easier for us and it stands exactly where the other dragon lands and pulls it into this pack. Our pally friend eats another breath, but this time with the flame variety, and then we all tick out to the outgoing damage while our blood DK Chad solos the rest of the pack. I could get used to this, as long as we time it of course. The second boss goes surprisingly smooth, so I'll skip on over to the last boss where our tank falls over, so I have to run for my life while the rest of our group dies. Panic Station is in full operation, but once again our Chad Blood DK can surely solo one more boss. He is a seasoned soloer at this point. I get the RP cam going to watch the rest of the fight while I have a little lie down and watch our tank carry us to victory. Until literally 3 minutes later of fighting, he just decides to fall over to a Storm Slam. We've all had those encounters where our blood DKs get a bit too big for their boots and almost in the key by trying to solo and dying after wasting a few minutes. But anyway, we run back, send Lust on Pull for some reason, I don't know why I did that, and this time we send it home. We get 2 useless plate chest drop, which is no fun, and guess what? We're back in SPG. Smile. This time it's an 11, so it is some extra free score, and I'll just take this time to talk to you guys about the format of this series going forward. So I have had the idea of doing this series for a while now, but as I'm sure you're all aware, everybody and their nan has started one of these series recently, so I definitely felt like I missed the boat with it. And that coupled with how long these take to actually edit, I've sort of been dreading the editing part, and I always end up putting it off. Now I really don't like quitting or not following through with stuff like this, as I know you guys are enjoying this series for those that do watch it, but it also feels bad when I put 5 hours into a video for it to get less views than a random VOD rip of a key on stream. This has led me to the decision of continuing the series, but instead I'm going to be live streaming it over at my Twitch so you guys can come and watch it live over there if you'd like. Don't worry, I'm not inviting viewers or anything to the keys, I still want to do it legit, but this way it's just much more efficient for me and I get to hang with you guys at the same time. So yeah, I thought I'd just let you guys know that future videos in this series will be a slightly different format. I'll still do the meme edits and all that good stuff, but it just won't be as scripted, so hopefully you guys can look forward to that. But yeah, at the end of this nice and smooth run, for a change, we got a nice little offhand for future use if we need it, and now it was time for another reset. And you know what that means, another vault. I was umming and ahhing here about what to take until I remembered that tier sets and the catalysts were actually a thing, so of course we had to go with the shoulders and catalyze them to finally get our hands on our 2 set. Just some extra crit for now, but soon we'll be getting those sweet Lust procs.